Okay, we've just gone short 1142. We've just had a flush signal on the 500 tip bar chart. The market kind of sold off a little bit and we had some professional bars kind of early in the morning. But on the 4500 tip bar chart on Friday's activity, we kind of had an end of trend warning signal, blow off activity on the Sunday evening, and we've kind of been heading down. So this is the first kind of cyclical turn here that we've seen on the 4500 tip bar chart, and this is the one I use for my trend direction. Came in with a bearish divergence signal on better momentum, and when we came up here to make kind of a double top, you can see the first time we came in was a rainbow pattern with amateurs, the second time we came in was professional selling at the top there. Happened to be a kind of exhaustion selling on the 500 tip bar chart here with divergence patterns, and now we've had a flush signal here when we kind of came back up to 43. So what I'm hoping is that we're going to break through to 41, break through this cyclical support level on the 500 tip bar chart and break into a downtrend. So that would be nice, and we're kind of playing the swing from this cyclical cross on the 4500 tip bar chart to wherever it ends up. Okay, so we've just broken 1140 here, and we had a couple of professional bars kind of that you could see on both the 500 and 1500 tip bar chart here just a few minutes ago, 1140. And sometimes you'd think, well, it's coming into a cyclical turning point on the 1500 tick frame, and this could be kind of a turning point. We had a bullish divergence signal and so on. But if you kind of look back, this is kind of activity that's happening within this kind of range, if you like. It wasn't a price extreme because we hadn't kind of broken to new lows here, but it was more like a trend line break. So if you drew a trend line up through these points here, you could see that it was kind of pushing down through that trend line break. So when I see professional bars like this that come in the middle of some kind of trading range, for me that's signaling some kind of break, directional break, and that's where the professionals are kind of getting on board and starting to push this in one particular direction. So rather than that being kind of a signal to of a change in trend, I see it more as an opportunity to confirm that we've got a trend in place. And you can see on the 500 tip bar chart, now broken into a downtrend. We came back, kind of kissed this little support level that's become resistance, kind of come back down. We've had exhaustion selling on the downside. Got my usual stop target in at 38. 4 points away from my entry. Kind of got close, I think, just a couple of bars ago. Half a point away. So we've still got to see this one kind of work. We've got professional bars kind of coming in on 1500 and one on the 4500 tip bar chart. So I'd like to be out of this, but this little run that we've had is not over yet. We'll have another kind of push down yet, I'm sure. So still sticking with my position. Okay, just come out of this trade 1139. And the reason for coming out a little bit early is we had an end of trend warning signal kind of come in, and we've also got a cyclical turn on the 4500 tip bar chart kind of come up. This little rally that we just sat through lasted a couple of points here. A lot of it was driven by the amateurs. You can see kind of amateur up bars kind of here, and then we came back to test very quickly with this kind of down move here, but we've come in and made a little bit of a double bottom type pattern. We know that there's professional buying down at 1139. We've got professional blue bars, down blue bars on the 4500 tip bar chart and the 1500 tip bar chart, so those are quite important. Plus we've had exhaustion selling on the downside, plus a flush signal on the 500 tip bar chart. So not sure here. We just kind of come down to 38.75. So maybe it was kind of good, but just didn't like the feel of this. Didn't think it was going to make 38, so kind of came out early. Just going to watch it and see how this plays out. Okay, just gone long at 39.75. Reason for this trade is kind of finding it difficult to get through 11.39, 11.38. And we've had a flush signal on the 500 tip bar chart coming into an end of trend warning signal. End of trend warning signal coincides with a cyclical turn on the 4500 tip bar chart here. And although there's not necessarily a change in trend necessarily here, for me that's a fairly high probability trade kind of setup. and it's not clear that today's activity really means that we're in a downtrend. We're just kind of moving around within this fairly wide kind of band. So I still think there's some kind of range trading to be had before we start moving into a directional move. Although I must admit, not going to get greedy on this. Here we go. We just had a professional bar kind of print at 1140. It is coming into a cyclical turning point here on the 500 tip bar chart and bearish divergence here. So that's not a very good sign. That's kind of a little bit of a trifecta for me when it comes to turning points. So we're also coming into a cyclical turning point on the 1500 tip bar chart. So let's just watch this for a second. What I need is a break above this kind of 40-50 level to kind of confirm that we're into another kind of upswing. So let's see if we're going to get that. We did just get a couple of amateur down bar prints here with bullish divergence at this point here. So you can see one there on the 1500 that kind of coincided with this one on the 500. So that last little push down that was being led by the amateurs was kind of a sign that the amateurs potentially getting wrong-footed and the highs were taken out. That was the signal for me to go long. So let's see how this plays. Okay, so we've hit 40-50 on the upside, and we've got cyclical resistance levels both on the 500 and the 1500 tip bar chart. What this means is you can see a lot of the activity in the last few bars has been kind of exhaustion selling on the downside, bullish divergence down here. Got this kind of double bottom kind of nicely kind of come in on the 1500 tip bar chart. What that means is if these levels get broken above here, we'll go into a little bit of an uptrend, which is going to be supported by the cyclical swing on the 4500 tip bar chart. So still don't want to get greedy. We know that there's a lot of kind of supply at 43. We've just had a Rambo pattern print here, so just watching it. Let's see if we get a little bit of a run to the upside and kind of break these levels. Okay, we've just been moving around about a 1.5 point range here. The reason for keeping in this trade is that we're kind of testing this 1139 type level. We came back in to it with a professional down bar here on the 500 and the 1500 tip bar chart. And on the 1500 tip bar chart, we've had a flush signal kind of come up. So we got exhaustion selling kind of earlier on in the day. We had our bullish divergence signals at this point here. We come back in to test again. And at this point here we kind of flush out the sellers. Professionals kind of come in at the lows, buy these lows, and we kind of get sucked higher because there's a kind of vacuum left over by all the sellers having sold. So we're coming up to test this little bit of a high at 40.50. Last time we came in we had a couple of amateur bars, kind of Rambo patterns up here. So what we need to do is just show that we can push through here to 41 and kind of get this little rally kind of underway. However, coming up to lunchtime, so not expecting a huge amount of activity. Be like to be out of this trade, so we'll be seeing where the right place is to take a little bit of profits, hopefully. Okay, we're out at 42.75 just for 3 points. The reason for getting out of this trade is we've had exhaustion volume on the 500 and 1500 tip bar chart, plus professional bars kind of coming in. Kind of a good place. It's been initially very quiet, just moving around this 1.5 kind of point range. And as soon as we had these kind of spike down moves here, the market started to take off to the upside. So time to get out. So there we go, another 3 point trade done.